economic collapse, martial law, social and civil war, aliens, human hybrids, Nephilim, the Great world chaos, tsunamis. You want to stay tuned for special edition End Time Revelations with Pastor Henry Schaefer and Pastor Steve Hall. You got it, Brother Rick.
Well, hello and welcome, CSRA. I'm your host, Henry Schaefer, and welcome to another episode of Project SEER. It is December the 1st. It's 2 o'clock. It's top of the hour. So if you listen to any other time than that, you are listening to a rebroadcast of one of the best programs in the CSRA, which is called Project SEER, hosted by Henry Schaefer and by Steve Hall. Steve, it's good to have you in the studio with us.
Yeah, and it's great to be back. I'm excited about what God's showing us. There's things that are happening in the last days that's never happened before. Yeah. And I think God has given us an inside track here on our program called SEER, Special Edition End Time Revelation. And we've got several people. First of all, there's a unique situation today. Yeah. We have got another Henry here with us, Henry Williamson. So that is two Henrys. But listen, I also have my backup, and I have Steve Watson. We got two Henrys and two Steves. This is a double portion.
Yeah. Henry plus Steve squared.
Yeah. That's it.
Squared.
That's a big box right there.
There's a lot of information going on there.
That's it. Hey, I like that.
Henry Williamson is one of our good friends here. We just talked here just the other day. God's been showing him a lot of things. So I invited him up, come on in and listen to one of our Project SEERs. He said he's right down the street here from him. I said, well, come on in, Henry, and sit in.
Glad to be here.
All right. He's got a good radio voice, too.
He does.
Got a YouTube channel. Tell everybody about your YouTube channel, Henry.
Well, the YouTube channel's got is under my name, Henry Williamson. If you see my picture, basically I've been doing what I would call revelation visions that the Lord has been passing on to me. There've been quite a few of them there, a lot of different things. As always, we see in part, and all I can say is tell in part.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey, whose phone is that?
Somebody's calling in. That might be. Ain't no telling who that is. But anyway, Stephen got that brand new phone here.
Yeah,
swapped over
and I forgot to turn the ringer down.
He done got swapped over to that Apple system and everything. I'm telling you what.
Yeah. I did.
But he still got his hat on today, though.
Shotgun Steve. Shotgun Stephen Watson. Boy, I'm telling you what, you did a program the other night about the dream seed.
Yeah.
Well, that was good on 2x2.
Yes.
That was a really good program that you had there.
I appreciate
that. It's good to have you with us as well, brother. Well, listen, we are going to talk about a subject today. We're going to call it Planet X.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Nibiru. Nibiru, whatever y'all want to call it. Nibiru is the way I say it, and then some people call it the Red Dragon Planet.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right.
We're going to talk about that today. And before we get started, though, we want to make sure that everyone, if you're getting ready to get out of your vehicle, you can go to cwchrist.com. Go to cwchrist.com. Go to the right-hand side, red button, listen live. Anywhere you got a smartphone, got a tablet, getting out of your vehicle. Stay tuned in, though. If you're going down the road, we're going to tell you we're going to be in about an hour.
Yeah.
And so you can stay tuned on right where you're at, 99.9 FM, Williston. And then YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel at Studio WUCC. That's the best way to go to YouTube. And you can subscribe. And when you subscribe, look to the right of that. Listen now, there's a little bell that's right next to the subscribe button. When you subscribe, there'll be a little bell there.
Notification.
Click on that little bell, and it will send to your email, where your email is at, your device. It will let you know that, hey, listen, I want to be notified when they put something up there. So we got 2x2 that comes on Monday night. Your program last night, In the Last Days. Mm-hmm. It'll let you know that. It'll let you know that Project SEER, it's really supernatural on Fridays. It's coming on. Kingdom Talk on Thursdays. Come on.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh. Yeah.
So today,
Let's do
We're
it.
entering the twilight zone.
Woo.
We're going like Star Trek, boldly go where very few people have ever dared to
That's
go
right.
before. And I want to open this thing up, Pastor Schaefer, reading from the Bible right here in
Let's do it.
Revelations chapter 6, beginning in verse 12, because everything that we're fixing to talk about as a result of maybe, possibly, this planet X swinging by between Earth and Sun here.
What do you mean, Planet X?
Yeah, Nibiru.
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 Okay.
I've heard it pronounced
A
and can't
planet
pronounce it.
swinging? It's going to be swinging?
Well, you know, if it's a planet, some people say that it is a star that did not fully develop. They call it a brown star, dwarf star. They got different
So they're
names
talking
for
about
it.
this. There's a planet that's coming
Yes.
that we don't know about.
It's got its own solar system.
Really?
It's got its own moons. It's got its own asteroids. And it comes around, from what I understand, about every 36 to 3,800 years.
So if that's so, about every 36, 3,800,
You
some
backed
people
all the
would
way up
say
to Noah.
about Noah's time when a flood came.
Exactly
And
right.
the continents broke up.
Exactly
Wow,
right.
isn't that
So
amazing?
let me read.
Okay,
Now,
go ahead.
we just prefaced it
All right.
perfectly, because now I'm going to read for you the sixth seal of Revelation that's found in Revelation chapter 6, beginning in verse 12. Listen to what happens. I'm going to throw some few things at you here. I looked when he opened the sixth seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood. And the stars of heaven fell to the earth, as a fig drops its figs in late, or when it's shaken by a mighty wind. Somebody say asteroids.
Asteroids. Somebody
All
say
right.
asteroids.
Asteroid.
Then the
Asteroids.
sky receded as a scroll when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved from its place. Somebody say tectonic shift.
Tectonic shifts.
Major tectonic shift.
Major tectonic
Major.
shift.
And the kings of the earth and great men, the rich men, the commanders, the mighty men, every slave and every free man hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains. Somebody say the domes, deep underground military bases.
The domes. They went to the domes.
And they said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne.
Oh, wow.
And from the wrath of the Lamb.
Yeah.
Hide us. So go into the caves.
Hide us.
To go into the caves to hide from the judgment, from the face of judgment. Now, I don't believe God's going to appear to everybody, but they're going to see God because they're going to see his judgments. And I'm understanding now that Russia has more underground protection than we do. China, by far, has more underground protections than we do. And not only that, but America's underground protection is only for the elite.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Not for me and you, Brother Henry, and
Yeah.
Brother Henry, and Brother Steve,
Brother
and Brother
Steve.
Steve. So what are we going to do? Is it coming? Well, there's something coming, because the Word of God cannot lie. Is it Planet X?
Yeah.
Now, that's the question we're going to try to address.
Yeah, well, you know, what brought us about to this point to talk about this Planet X, Nibiru, or the Red Dragon. Of course, you know, we've been doing some things with Scott Clark,
Yep.
talking about the Revelation 12 sign that's going to be happening September 23rd, 2017.
Yes.
That, you know, if something's happening in the sky and in the planetary systems. So, we're all aware of that. But as many people have been talking about that sign taking place, and as I was going through, through studies about the planets and everything, then I came across this Nibiru. Now, we know about Nibiru for years.
Yes.
Because we've looked at it, but I'm talking about really look at it is right now. Because when I started looking at this here, I saw that the devastation that they were talking about, very much when they talk about the rising of the oceans and it coming flooding inland. And I started thinking about, listen, the signs that God has given us through like Perry Stone and different
right.
people on the East Coast about a tsunami coming huge,
Right.
coming inland and, washing shore many hundreds of miles inland.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, how is this possible? And then when I started looking at what other people who have studied Nibiru, and they have drawn the lines of when this planetary system comes through and the oceans coming in, they're saying they're going to be coming in up to just exactly what
Where?
God is speaking to us through the prophets.
Yeah.
And I'm going, is this the event?
And, that's the thing. You're talking science are saying
Yeah,
this.
and these people don't know what Perry
Right.
Stone's been talking about.
They don't keep up with the
Prophetic side of it.
prophetic side.
Yeah.
We're keeping up with the prophetic side. Science is saying,
Yes.
and the effect matches what I just read,
Exactly.
matches what they are saying is going to happen if this is truly an end time event.
Right. So let me read out of Wikipedia what it says exactly that this is, because there's a lot of people, and this is their first time.
Sure.
They've never heard of it. Here's what it says. Nibiru is a cataclysm, is a supposed disastrous encounter between the Earth and a large planetary object, either a collision or a near miss. Now, many are saying it's a near miss by
right.
millions of miles, which certain groups believe will take place in the early 21st century. Believers in this doomsday event usually refer to the object as, say, Planet X, or Nibiru. The idea that the planet-sized object will collide with a closely passed by Earth is the near future is not supported by any scientific evidence and has been rejected by astronomers and planetary scientists as pseudoscience and an internet hoax. Yep. That's what it says now.
Yeah, that's what
Wikipedia says.
Yeah.
The idea was first put forward in 1955 by, and it goes on down through and talk about it. So when you go to this part here and you're going to read this, you're going to say, oh, it's all a hoax.
Right.
Then again, there are things that is called disinformation. Let me give you disinformation for a moment.
Yeah.
If there was a crash in Roswell in 1947, is that when it was? Then, in 1947, crash in Roswell, New Mexico. Is that right?
Yes.
Correct.
Then all of a sudden, the next day they say, oh, it wasn't a crash.
We found the weather balloon.
It was a weather balloon. So now it has raised a huge thing. So someone will say it was all a hoax or it was disinformation. So here's the thing, just to kind of keep it out of the public's mind. So this Nibiru is a hoax, or it's actually really something happening, and they're hiding the fact that this is coming so that it doesn't frighten people, just like it would be if there were aliens.
Correct.
That was here. So that's where we pick up this at. And when you start listening to a lot of the things coming, like you said, the elliptical pattern of the planet coming around every 3,600 years, it matches something scriptural. We see what Scotty Clark's been talking about, something coming.
Yes, in September.
And even defining the red dragon. You know, I know he's well into that. So those are the kind of things. Steve, go ahead now. I'm going to turn it back over to you, brother. And that's
so
all I got.
This is what the program is about.
We put it out
whether
there.
we know it or not, we can't verify it because you have the information, disinformation going on. If you go to YouTube, you're going to hear some scientists. I don't know if they're scientists. I didn't ever meet them, hadn't seen their credentials, but they say they are, and they say, yes, it's real. Yes, we've saw it. Yes, we're former NASA. Yes, we're former astrologers, and we've seen this. It's there. It's real. Now it's being covered up. And if you go to some of the astronomy charts now, live ones from NASA, you will see that there's parts of the sky that are blocked out. And they say that is where this planet X is and was visible until they decided to take it down, and they hit it. So
that was in Google Sky.
Google Sky.
Google Sky
sure
has,
was.
you know about it, Henry?
Yeah.
They have that section completely blocked out. You cannot see what's there in there. And that's where people believe that they're hiding that planet. Tell them what it looks like.
Well, it looks like a red-looking planet, and it's got wings. That's exactly what it looks like. It's like kind of a reddish, pinkish tint wings that come off of the side, and they believe that is the following asteroid field that is just sucked along with the gravity that holds them in place, and also along with that there are moons that they say that. And I
how many did you hear? 3, 5?
I heard 3, but there was a guy who had intel at one time. He was able to get and look through the Hubble telescope, and he was able to see it. And he said he saw it clear as day. It was real as anything, and he was an eyewitness. He said, "I saw it. I saw the moons that was around it
and
from the Hubble telescope."
Did he tell you what happened then afterwards?
They took it down.
Yeah, they shut him down.
They shut everything down, and now nobody can access except the privy, the Hubble telescope to see what's there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, is this all theory? Is this all crazy, mad people theory? I don't think so. I think there's truth in it. I remember in 2011 at my church, I got onto this early, probably 2010, 2011. And I said, man, there's something to this. And I made all this available to my church, and I told them these things might happen. But whatever it was, it didn't come in. It didn't.
That was was it Eldon?
It was. I think it
Eldon? Was that it?
Was it Ellen? I don't think it was. But anyway, I got into something very similar to this, and it was supposed to have the same effect, but it just didn't happen. And I think somebody said in 2005 there was another thing that just didn't happen. And so I don't want to keep crying wolf, but at the same time, there's a lot of
Now,
testimony.
we're not the ones saying this.
Yeah,
We're
there's
just
a
telling you
lot-
what everybody else is saying.
Exactly. There's a lot of people out there that are saying this is real. And whether it's real or not, every listener's going to have to decide for themselves.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what, if there's a chance of it being real, I'm going to be prepared a little bit more than
yeah.
I am right now
Yeah.
come early September or before then, maybe
Yeah.
August sometime.
Well, I believe that in 2017, for some reason, I've felt it in my spirit, there are going to be some revelations to come. I believe that if we go back to Matthew, the 24th chapter, reading it, talks about there's going to be signs and wonders in the heavens. There's
Yeah.
going to be things that are going to happen in the heavens, and they're going to cause distress among the nations of the world. And I don't believe that it's just a fallen star. I believe that there are some things that we see in the atmosphere that are normal. We see the fallen stars. We can see most of the planets in our solar system with clarity. I mean, they can look at Saturn, they can look at all its moons and the rings, and they can see it with much clarity. But they've went past Pluto now.
That's correct.
And they went past, and when they went past Pluto and they took pictures of the planet and they sent that back, they were so clear that we have the ability to see in areas now in the outer space that we,
Now that's what they call that. Is it New Horizon?
Yes,
the New Horizon.
Yeah.
And think of the name. The
Yeah,
New
the
Horizon.
New
What,
Horizon.
that's almost dualistic in its application. New Horizon, they sent it out to further maybe than any other planet observer has went. But on Earth, if this thing is coming, we're going to have a new horizon on this Earth, and it's going to be a devastating restart, if you want to call it that, a cataclysmic restart by billions of people dying.
Well, one of the things that they say that if there's something coming, it's getting close, is that something this size, because it says it's like 5 times the size of Earth, put 5 Earths into it, and that it's going to come around the sun, and as it comes around the sun, then it's going to get, we're talking about millions of miles from us, but be able to see dual suns in during the daytime.
Yes.
Is that where our sun is now, you should be able to see in the sky dual suns. Now, I haven't seen dual suns, but there's a lot of information on the internet and people in the area
Pictures.
that have had pictures of dual suns in our sky now. And they're saying, what is this other object that's there now? I'm talking about today. What is out there? And it depends on where you're at and your alignment to the sun and where it's at to be able to see.
Brother RPI, a year ago, listen to this. I was in the studio. He was coming in. We was getting ready to do our show. He brings his phone in with a picture on it. He says, yeah, and it was from a local person. I don't know where they were when they took it. They says, look what somebody sent me. What do you think? And I looked at it, and there was the big sun, our sun, and then there was a smaller-looking red disc. I think it's down towards the left side of looking at it from the phone. I don't know what angle the phone was at this point. But also in this same thing, you could see the moon.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
So now it's plain. There's a moon because the sun and the moon were up at the same time.
Right.
And then over below to the left of the sun is another smaller looking sun.
Right.
He says, Pastor, what is this?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know, but you just got my curiosity aroused.
Right. And that's
can't-
exactly what's on the
I
internet.
can't remember. I'd have to go back and look it up, but I believe when the Our Lady of Fatima circumstance took place where the children believed they had saw something in the sky, I believe there was a mentioning of a double sun at one time. I have to go back and look at it. But I will tell you this, that I really loved what we talked about with Scott Clark in talking about in September of 2017. But I do know that the Bible tells us that there is going to come a great deception, and people are going to be deceived, and Satan is the prince of the air. And so we know that in the heavens and in the solar system, there are going to be things that are going to happen that are going to frighten men. And I believe that a lot of the things that are going to happen are so unimaginable that most people look at it in a fictional way.
It's hard. You can't believe it
Yeah, I can't believe it.
because you've never seen it.
But they'll go watch movies that depict phenomena
The day after.
The day after, yeah.
Well, see here, and you brought the point up about the deception. And so what I look at this here, is the deception out there that this isn't real, or it is real and they don't want us to know? What's the deception? Is heaven real? Is hell real? Is eternal life real? I mean, who is trying to deceive who? Yeah. We got preachers preaching saying it is, and you got people saying, oh, it's just all a hoax.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So just on the same level of that kind of deception, prove to me there's a heaven, prove to me there's a hell. Well, I can't see it.
That's right.
Well, you got the whole thing. So in just that ease, in that just one thing about deception, let's talk about, we know the scripture tells us something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there are people who are saying this thing's here, and there are those who are saying it's not here, knowing that. And one of the reasons why they were saying that, they didn't want to tell the world that this thing was coming, in the fact that let's do America. Small business owners make up half of the businesses
right
in America, that most of them can easily shut down their business and go to the mountains.
Right.
And
go to the Ozarks, where the scientists and all of the other military high brass go to retire.
Yeah. So, I mean, they could just shut down, and all the economy would stop now, waiting for this event. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who are talking about and have done the revelation that there's something here. So let's talk about what we know that people on the internet have been telling us, and about, hey, it's coming, how it will affect, and then what are they doing to prepare?
Yeah, one of the things that really struck me, and that's why I read this as a preface to our show today from the scripture, is because it talks about the sky rolling up, and it talks about from the heavens they don't call them asteroids, it's mountains on fire. It mentions in one place, one of them's called wormwood in another place, but there are things that are coming out of the sky and striking the earth. And when they began to talk about Planet X, and when it comes in between our sun and the earth, the gravitational pull of our planet, when it meets all of the, that's probably Brother Scott right there, all of the tail of Planet X and draws in all those asteroids, it's going to be a fire show.
Yeah, okay, caller, you're live and on the air. Got a comment, got a question?
Hey, pastors, this is Rachel Glanton.
Hey, Rachel.
I'm excited because you're on my subject. You are on my subject.
All right. Tell us what you know.
Let me tell you, I got so many things I will just shorten and reduce. Whenever I was in elementary school, I was learning about geography, and I had an open vision, and I saw the tectonic plates on the earth cracking open. And all of a sudden, I was back in my seat. But it was like I was hovering in the air above this. And from then on, I was set on a path to research these things and all the topics that you are talking about. You probably know this, but in Revelation 8:11, there is a scripture that refers to a star called wormwood. Back in 1967, there was a huge firestorm in the scientific community, and they had to decide whether they were going to release the information to the public or not. Our textbooks that we learned from in the public schools were dramatically affected by this, because up until this point, the binary star system that they believed was part of our system was named, that star was named wormwood.
Yeah.
They then changed the name. So, and this disinformation process began, I guess, about the truth around us. So one of the things I want to say is I lived on Folly Beach for quite some time, and I have been very careful with a lot of the pictures that I have taken. And I have been the voice in my family, in my churches, and in my communities that people just look at me like I stayed up too late last night. Because I have pictures to prove a lot of the things y'all are talking about, but I've never put them on the internet. I don't spread them around.
You have pictures of the double suns? You have pictures of the double suns?
Yes, sir.
You do. You have personally seen those things. You've seen our regular sun. You've seen the small, which we'd call Planet X right now. Let's just call it that for now. So you've got pictures of that?
2 weeks ago, I took a picture in Charleston of the two suns passing in and out of each other.
Come on now.
I am constantly watching the skies. When I tell you, when I said on another show when I was talking to evangelist Steve Watson, I said, look, I'm a sky watcher. This is what I meant. And I even have video of the sun setting in the west and another light source apparently kind of rising or looking. I don't see where this light is coming from, but you can see the beams of light coming up in the east. I have videos of that over the course of many years. I have taken these videos. One of the things I asked the Lord is all these questions about the red planet this, the red planet that. Starting about 2010, 2011, I started saying, Lord, help me understand what this is about. And in 2013, he woke me up, sent me to the coast, which was only 3 streets from my front door at the time. And I took a picture of what I believe is the red planet. And I was also pursued by a helicopter. You know how a helicopter runs over fields and, sprays stuff out? These things, where those things were, there were cameras mounted on this helicopter. And I actually have a picture of that helicopter.
Wow, so this is amazing.
Let me tell you something. I just acted like I was not taking pictures and I was just enjoying the sea air.
This is amazing.
Two of the cameras, I had 2 cameras at the time. I have pictures on both cameras. And from a distance, you can't really tell what it looks like. And when I zoomed in and got up close, I was standing on this dock flipping out. And this was in June 13th of 2013, 2012 and 2013. I have these pictures. And I have some dates that aren't etched in my memory, but this was the one I was waiting on. And I personally believe that it is, if it's not Mars, I don't know what it is. But I had been studying where Earth and Mars would intersect their ellipses around the sun, and I just was amazed by it. So then there's a supposition that reason when they went back to the firestorm in '67 and altered so many of the textbooks is one of the reasons I've heard a scientist give this supposition, but they don't release this information, is because then the school systems, the people, everybody who's been taught wrong would actually have grounds to, have an uproar and say, look, you've lied. So the official statements would make it, grounds for suing and all kind of fun stuff.
Wow.
So,
Rachel, are you still there?
Yes,
Evangelist Watson, you was talking about that star wormwood. Just so that our listeners understand it, after you read that in the 11th verse, and you go to the 12th, it says, and the 4th angel sounded, and the 3rd part of the sun was smitten, and the 3rd part of the moon, and the 3rd part of the stars, so as the 3rd part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a 3rd part of it, and the night likewise. And this is the important part. And I behold and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of 3 angels, which are yet to sound. So all those things that happen with that wormwood, they really sound identical to what you're talking about with that Planet X, because
some of them are saying now. Let me just throw this in there. We got to get room for another caller here. We got a 2:30
Rachel,
caller.
I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for calling in. We got another call coming in at 2:30. Okay?
2:30. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you,
and
Rachel.
we got to see those pictures. I'm gonna get back in touch with you for the pictures.
All right.
But some
Send
are
them to me
saying
email.
that one of the moons
Text them to me.
one of the moons following around Planet X is going to be wormwood. And that it's going to break free from Planet X, and it's going to come crashing into our
and see
water source.
And the word right there tells us a 3rd part of the sun, a 3rd part of the moon. They're going to dissipate. They're going to be gone.
So what we're saying is, if this is it, this could be the cause for all the effects that you see in the book of Revelation, chapter 6, and not following in chapter 12.
What I'm thinking about is what God's been telling all of us for the last year with Perry Stone and all these different people about the East Coast and all the way up through the Mississippi River and the West Coast.
That.
They're talking about the floods coming. So, I don't know how much. I know Scott's getting ready to call in. So if you listen to Scott, call on in. But we get you on the air. We want him to get on the air because you talked with him last night about the Red Dragon.
And he just put up a video now.
So we're going to tell everybody about that. But here's one of the things. We're talking about the flooding and really bringing this to light now is that if this is coming, and it's pretty quick, it's going to be happening, is some of the, and we talked about the water levels coming in. They were talking about how far in and here we go. Let me take this call right here. Okay, caller, you're live and on the air. Scotty, is this you?
Yeah, hi there.
Hey, Scott, how you doing today?
I am good, gentlemen.
Good. All right.
Good to hear from you, brother. We got some talking to do now.
Yeah, we are excited, man. You realize what all you've done over here on this side.
You didn't start a fire on this side of the continent here.
So tell us what God has been showing you. I know you and Steve had a conversation last night. We were talking about this Nibiru, the red dragon.
Brother. But Scott, what I want you to throw back in is explain stars gathering around into the heavens around the woman, and go back to Revelation 12, and then add to that, because we didn't talk about this last time, is that the planet X, Nibiru, however we want to call it, coming as the red dragon represented in Revelation chapter 12 to devour the child, and the placing of it as it's coming through. This is fascinating to me at this point. So we're going to consider you our expert today, so please enlighten us.
Well, thank you. I've been studying the chapters, chapter 12, the verses in chapter 12, which John wrote about a vision that he saw, but it's actually real. He said there's an alignment that happens in the constellations, but it happens with our sun, our moon, our stars, and also planets are involved in that, because biblically the planets are called the wandering stars. And on September 23rd of 2017, in the constellation, I should say Virgo and Leo, the sun is in Virgo, and we've got planets that make up what it says in Revelation 12:1 and 2, which says there's a woman clothed with the sun and the moon at her feet and 12 stars at her head, and the woman is in labor and travail as to give birth. And we see 12 stars at her head, because Leo has 9 stars in it, and it just so happens that on that day, Mercury, Mars, and Venus also join with the 9 stars, 3 more planets making up 12 above her head. This represents the nation of Israel. That's her crown, so she represents Israel. And Israel is giving birth to a child, which I believe represents the church. Since we were conceived, the church was conceived in Jerusalem, Israel. That's where our conception happened by the Holy Spirit. The father is married to Israel, and so this is kind of like father and mother, and we, the church, are the child. And the gestation period of the child has been this church age that we've been in for almost 2,000 years. But if a child has been conceived, and if a child is gestating, it must be born. And I believe that's what we're seeing in Revelation 12. However, Revelation 12:3 and 4 describe a dragon that is waiting at sort of the foot or near the womb somehow of the woman, and wants to kill the child as soon as it's born.
Yeah.
Well, if the majority of this constellation planet star alignment is made up of the heavenly bodies and the fixed canopy of the heavens, then wouldn't the dragon also be something there?
Yeah.
Well, in the fixed canopy of the heavens, we've got right at her feet. The next constellation is a man who is struggling with a great serpent, and that's I believe is pronounced Ophiuchus, and the serpent is Serpens, and I believe this represents what also then happens in Revelation 12, which is that Michael goes to war with the dragon, and he casts the dragon down to earth. So
Right.
This is a struggle between Michael and Satan, but it's depicted in the constellation of Ophiuchus and Serpens. And I show this in my video. If you could pull that up, you can take the cursor and put it on the screen, and you can see. And I also found Planet X in Google Sky. You were saying earlier that they removed it. Well,
Yeah.
It's back, because I just made
Oh,
the video
wonderful.
yesterday, and
It's
I
back.
show it. You put it on the screen, you can see it. Go to about 5:54, and maybe you could play a few minutes of it, and I'll show it to you. But there is something right between Virgo's legs, exactly where it's described in the scriptures, that something is waiting for the child to be born so it can devour it. However, the child the dragon does not succeed, and the child is caught up to heaven and to God and to His throne.
So
and
let me
that
ask you a
word
question.
Caught up there in the Greek is rapture. So interesting.
So what part of our planet? Excuse me. What part of outer space is Planet X in right now? When you saw it, were you able to determine how close it was to Vertigo?
Well, I can't tell distance. I looked at it in Google Sky, but if you go to, on my new video, go to Eternal Rhythm Flow, the channel, pull up the video and take the cursor, the little play bar, and put it at about 554.
Okay.
And just beyond that, and I'll show it to you. Planet X.
Now that's your brand new video, the one you just put up. That's the brand new video you just put up. Okay, Brother Schaefer's working.
An hour ago.
Okay, Brother Schaefer's working on it right now. We're trying to get it. That's 5.54, brother.
Okay, that'd be a good place to maybe just show a few minutes. I'll show it to you. There is a black box, which means Google or NASA, whoever's in charge of that, is blocking something out. However, you can see something coming from around behind that black box. They're not covering it up completely. Either they forgot about it or they're just, I don't know.
Maybe they want us to know. There. Maybe they're wanting it to leak out just to the people like us that are really searching the sky and looking for what's coming in the future. Maybe they are trying to get all the smart people. I'm not saying we're that smart, but, get those that are paying attention to what's going on in the universe and in the world as well to get a chance to get ready for this, because the vast majority are just tuned in to a rerun of Oprah or Andy Griffith right now, and they're not clued into nothing except what the superstars are doing or some sports event.
Either that or they're messing with us.
Either that, exactly. The disinformation, exactly. Then we're being their false herald of what's not coming.
It's hard to tell.
Where do you want me to pull it to? What minute?
5.54.
Go 5.54 and play until about 9:40. It's about 4 minutes, and I think you'll just
do it
see
over
it right
here.
there on the screen.
Yeah, we're gonna actually play. You're gonna play it over there, ain't we, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing it over there. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got you. We pulling it all up, getting the placements now.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. I'll get it.
So Planet X at this time is not in position, correct? It's not in the birth channel for the child to be devoured, is it?
It is. It's right between her legs right now.
It is. So my
That's
question.
what I want to show you.
Oh, okay. He's getting it up right now. I'm looking for it. He's still working on it. It takes a little while on this end. He's trying to multitask. I'm glad he can because I can't.
Now, will we be able to see that from just being outside at night?
This I couldn't tell you from the just watching people who are researching this deeper than I am. They're saying that it's a cold planet. And it doesn't.
Revelation 12 shows the finale of the story.
Oh, that man's good, ain't he? I'm getting it up.
He's working on it. That was a break in.
Where now? Where does he want it at?
5.54.
5.54. Here we go, Scott.
All right, Scott. We're gonna let you talk via YouTube. How about that? And
all right.
Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Hang on.
5.54. Here we go.
And we've got the pictures up for all of you who want. Can you get Can you get our
it's
cam on that, brother?
Than what we may be familiar with Stellarium and other programs. Normally the lines would be something like this, which would sort of create an open area for a womb in Virgo, and this actually does look a little bit more like a lion. But regardless of how the lines are drawn, I want to show you something very interesting. This is what Google Sky looks like today, as the day that I'm recording this, which is November 30th, 2016. This planet apparently is cold. And the only way that you could see it, light does not reflect off of this. This is a dark planet. But if we turn on infrared, we will see what we don't normally see. And it just so happens that Google Sky has been covering this up.
Look.
I looked at this years ago, and all you saw was a black spot here. Now, if we zoom in here, something is coming from around this place that
See the wing
Google
Yep,
as of this recording, has failed to cover up.
Get on
It is
downtown.
moving outside of this box. And there is something back here that NASA and Google are covering up. Look where it is. It's
in the
right
womb.
where it would need to be Revelation 12, 3 and 4. The dragon that waits at it. Well, it says at the foot of the woman, but regardless, it's waiting right. This is the line of the birth canal in Stellarium between these two, Spica and the other star up here, which creates the birth canal. There is a dragon right there at her womb. If this is the dragon, there is some mysterious object that is being covered up, possibly Planet X or Nibiru, that could be 10 times the size of Earth, coming in 2017, as some researchers say, that is at the foot of the woman. And if I just back this up, you can see for yourself that besides these lines that sort of connect these black lines connect the pictures of the constellations, nothing else is being blacked out here. It is only this.
Wow.
This is what it looks like. If I go to Skyview, I've typed in the coordinates of looking through a telescope here, and this is what this thing looks like. It almost looks like it has an evil smile with two eyes. We're not sure what this thing is, but that's what that is. It's the same thing. It's the same coordinates in the heavens. As you can see, kind of this smile. This is a black and white image, unfortunately, but this is what it would look infrared in color. And there are other pictures of it or artist renditions of it that say that it's red. Is it the fiery red dragon? Is it what John saw? I think it's a possibility. I don't think it's something that needs to be thrown out immediately. The story is told in the constellations. We've got everything we need here, as well as the fight between Michael and the dragon, which is what I said years ago in my video where I tackled that. But what if it's also being shown by a moving planetary object, something that is coming in 2017? Well, the possibility is clearly there, as you have now just seen. And so I just wanted to tell you, because people have asked, I believe that it is a possible scenario. Other people have done work on this. There's a lot of videos about this kind of thing, actually. People are tackling this. But
all right, brother.
That was good, brother.
Yeah.
Well,
Brother
we can pack it
Scott.
up and going home.
That was
I'm
awesome.
running to the mountains, and I'm getting my shotgun and my beanie weenies, brother. Y'all going with me?
I'm not going to the mountains. They just got burned up. I'm going out to the Ozarks.
Well, it says that if we're the body of Christ, if the interpretation is correct that the child is the church to be born, it is caught. The child is the word is rapture in Revelation 12:5, and then the dragon fails to get us. So I'm not worried about it.
Amen. I like that.
I'm moving to California then.
Well, we got earthquake.
Brother, that is awesome.
You did a good job, Scotty.
That is really, really good.
I'm talking about you, a Johnny on the spot.
That's awesome, because that is the questions that I sent you that video link. I think it was yesterday, and I wanted to know your opinion of that. And man, I just got it right here. That was the quickest answer with a YouTube video. That's the only answer from a YouTube video I've ever got from anybody.
Oh,
I
that's
really
great.
appreciate that.
Yeah, man, that was good.
Yeah, you're welcome. When you get a chance, you can watch the whole thing. It's only 13 minutes.
Yeah.
And your subscribers can go to my channel on YouTube to check it out. It's my latest upload.
Well, I really appreciate that. And, I do believe God is up to something. I mean, things going on in the place that he said that the sky would be for the signs, the wonders, the warnings, the times, the seasons. When he showed us the skies and gave us that information, and we see what's happening right now, this is not a coincidence. And when you read, well, like I did in Revelation chapter 6, and it fits exactly into a circumstances that scientists say could be the result of this planet X swooping around between our sun and Earth.
Yeah.
Scott, let me
amazing.
ask you this here. When do you think that this Planet X will be there?
Well, earlier, right, you put it at 5.54. Well, just before that, I showed that researcher David Mead, there's a lot of researchers, Gil Broussard, David Mead, and others. I don't mean to leave them all out, but David Mead wrote a book saying that Planet X was going to approach in the fall of 2017. He wrote a book called Planet X 2017. And I heard an interview with him, a radio interview that was on YouTube, and I heard him actually say that he said he believed that it was going to cause some disturbances by the fall, which is exactly when the sign happens in September.
Wow.
Yeah, from what I understand from research and reading, is they believe that there'll be a gravitational pull on the platonic plates on this Earth, and that may cause earthquakes and such. But one of the things that I did read recently about this was that, there's a lot of astronomers out there, and some are just amateur astronomers, and they're always looking for asteroids and things. And they say that this area that's blacked out is the first and only time that they can ever remember that science or NASA or somebody has blacked out a portion of space itself. That this is the first time in any known astronomy history that a portion of the universe was blacked out.
What's so good, brother? You can see the flames coming out around.
Yeah,
yeah,
like the wings, like a.
Like you said earlier with the UFO situation that started in 1947, 48. They don't want the public to know certain things for their own purposes.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we, as we did our research, looking at, what you've exposed to us, and enlightened us, and I appreciate your ministry as well, sharing this with everybody, and the overlaying this, like in layers, overlaying this with what Perry Stone has said, Patricia Green, different ones have said tsunami coming. Yeah. Henry, you've had dreams as well. Share some.
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of visions. I was shown back, I'm thinking maybe July time frame, where the whole East Coast was. At the time, I actually didn't understand it, but actually the East Coast showed like it was just being washed, like a double wave or something on that order.
Yeah. And you were sharing with me yesterday about Washington, D.C. being underwater.
No, actually, Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Yeah, I've seen Lord has showed me there's going to be a major earthquake down there that's going. He showed me the quake
different places all over the continents. But, like what you were saying, Brother Watson, was that when this thing comes by, that it's going to grab a hold of
there'll be a
gravitational pull, but it's going to pull on the tectonic plates and all that. But more than that, it's going to do a polar shift. There'd be a North Pole, South Pole actually changing on our planet. And when that takes place, that's where all of our magnetronics and all that. Look at that, brother. There's two suns, isn't it?
Yeah, Sister Blanton just sent that to us. That's a picture that we just talked about. She said that is a sun beside the sun. You see it? A small one. Check that out. I showed it to the other brother.
I'm gonna bring the camera right here. I'm gonna bring the camera right here.
See if you can get it focused in.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she just sent that to me on the phone. Let's see if we can get it. You want to hold it up to that one?
There. You ready?
You got to look on the top left-hand side. You'll see a sun, like a small sun, being birthed out of the big sun. If we can get it to focus.
Yeah, it's real clear from just looking at it from here.
Yeah, we're trying to get it adjusted. We're having a hard time getting it adjusted just right. Somebody needs to move that stoplight out of the way. Yeah, there we go. It's getting better. It's getting better. There's a reflection in here on it, so we're not doing a great job at this point. On my camera, it's a lot clearer than that.
But you can see it, can't you, brother?
Yeah, there it is, part of it.
Yep. Wow.
See if I can get another one up. But thank you, Sister Blanton. Wow. Awesome. It's a lot better on my phone, y'all. We just can't get it exactly clear.
Scott, you're still there, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had talked about the platonic plates and everything. I think last time we got to talk, I asked you what was 8 miles north of San Francisco, and you said the Golden Gate Bridge, correct?
Well, Yeah, just up there. We've got. I'm on the San Andreas Fault, and apparently it's just been discovered that there's another fault that is a new one that's adjoining it, and could be some issues in there.
Yeah, a couple Monday nights ago, I think it was not this last Monday, but the Monday before, we had done a program where on 2x2 where we talked about some prophecies, and one of the prophecies that I I felt in my spirit that God had told me to write down was that there would be a great earthquake in that city in the west where Satan has set his seat, and in the prophecy I had described that there would be a great earthquake, but I didn't write down the name of the city. But I had told Pastor Schaefer and Brother Hall when I was in prayer and I felt impressed to write what I wrote. I said I saw the news, like I was watching it on a television screen, and in the news they said the epicenter was 8 miles north of San Francisco, and so that's why I was curious about that.
Yeah, well, up in that area, you get like Santa Rosa is up in there, but also the Bohemian Grove is on the coast just north of San Francisco, and there's it's been said a lot of evil goes on with some the elites in that area, and eventually these things are going to be judged.
Does Anton LaVey still have a? I know he's dead, but does he still have a following up there?
Yeah, the Satanic Church is still in San Francisco. The old house that it used to be back in the 60s and 70s is not what it is anymore. But that sort of cult is still alive and well. Yeah.
All right.
It's fascinating.
Thank you, brother. We'll have to do one on that. So, listen, tell us, do you have anything else you want to share with us, brother, about this Revelation 12 sign and what's God showing you about it, the red dragon?
Well, I just put together the quick 13-minute video, just my thoughts on it. Actually, Steve Hall encouraged me, saying that you were going to talk about this today, and so that became my focus yesterday. So I put that together yesterday and last night. So, but there's a lot more to cover. I wouldn't consider myself an expert on Planet X exactly. There's some people who've done a lot more research on that one. I've been focused primarily on the rest of the sign and what it actually means biblically. And you can find that on my YouTube channel, Eternal Rhythm Flow.
Yeah, tell them how they can support you as well on there. The PayPal, there's an account they can give to you right there on Eternal Rhythm Flow. They can go to where at and send you some funds if they'd like to.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. There's a PayPal link. There's also in the About section, there's a P.O. box. So, and also on my website, ERF Ministries, which everything's linked. If you go to one, you could find the other.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty, thank you so much for your call.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We need to get Scott to come out here for a conference sometime.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Wouldn't that be good? Now you have to do a whole day now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brother Scott, because Planet X and all you've been showing us all just came together as a big package for me. It was like it just went
Mine
was
the overlay of the prophecies we've heard.
Yes.
And the sign and that happening. I'm going, is this what we've been talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure sounds like it.
And, and one of the things, too, Scott, while I'm going to keep you on the phone here, you can just listen in with us, is that, because I want to put this out, one of the things that they talk about, how far inland will a lot of this catastrophe happen? They said that 500 feet and below, 500 feet below, above sea level, that's where the oceans will come in at. So a lot of them are moving to the Ozark Mountains. Those who are in the know, when they retire, that's where they're going. Another thing that I'm just putting out here, so because I never know if I get to talk about it again. Another thing they said is that if this happens, there are two places set up for alternate capitals of the United States. One will be in Atlanta, Georgia, because it is well over 1,000 feet above sea level. It's the highest place on the East Coast for that type of industry. Would be Atlanta, Georgia. The other place is Denver, Colorado, saying that if something happens all the way to those mountains, Denver would be the place where the capital would be set up at. Many of the companies already are moving off of the East Coast, moving inland to Chicago
Yeah.
and different places all around. But of course, the Mississippi River is going to swell, is going to widen. The East Coast is going to get narrow, and of course, the West, Scotty, don't sell your boat. Don't sell your boat, brother. Keep your boat. You're gonna need it. You hear me, Scotty? I love you. Keep your boat.
Yeah, put your double life jackets
That's
on.
You're gonna need it out there. But I'm looking right at the edge of where we're at too. I'm going. What map tells me where I'm at today? You know, so I'm going. Oh, y'all. I think I'm gonna have to be treading water.
Well, you know, the other day they were on the news and they were talking about Miami and how the shoreline
It's already moving in.
it's moving in.
They
And-
have to put sump pumps in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say that the water level is rising so rapidly now that there are people that are living in coastal houses that are getting out. They're
Yeah.
selling the property and getting
Well, see,
rid
here's
of it.
what they're saying though. Here is the disinformation. They're saying, like our president's saying, it's all because of global warming. See what I'm talking about? But they're not telling everybody it's because that there is a planet that is in affecting our solar system, that's coming into our system, that even though it's that far away, it's that big that is even causing the sun to tilt. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
that's
to
what
lean.
I've heard. Exactly what you said, that it already is affecting our weather pattern, because over the last couple of years, our weather pattern has changed. This is probably the warmest time I've ever seen this far, all the way into December.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And the droughts. There's droughts everywhere in the Southeast right now. We're in a drought right
So
here.
they'll say that it's what?
They're gonna say climate change
Climate, yeah.
because of carbon, but you
Yeah.
know that's their wide brush to keep everybody off of the truth. I think that's
I
the
do too. I do
disinformation. I
too.
believe this
Well,
is
the
the
other
true
thing
information.
is the Lord has His hands in all that too.
That's right. Henry,
And God is in
Thank
control.
you for
20
sitting
years
with us
ago, you
today.
know, they said it was acid rain. Now they don't even talk about acid rain no more. Now it's just climate change.
Yeah.
Let's land the plane.
Yeah.
All right, we're got to land the plane, Scott. I'm gonna give you to let you have a minute here or so.
Thanks, gentlemen. You know, what you were just talking about reminded me of one of the chapters that begins the tribulation period of 7 years is chapter 6, and in that, verse 13 through 15, it says that the stars of heaven and the earth, they're shaken, and the heavens departed like a scroll, and every mountain was moved out of its place. And it says that the kings of the earth and the great ones and the rich ones and the commanders and the mighty, every slave and every free one, they hid themselves in the caves and the rocks of the mountains, and they said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who is sitting on the throne and the wrath of the Lamb. So it doesn't matter what preparations these people take. The Father's going to have His way with
That's
the earth.
it. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Scott, for calling in today. You've been a great asset today to us.
Amen. And that's going to get
Thank
close
you,
to our
gentlemen.
close to our conclusion here. We're fixing to put the wheels on the ground for this great plane. I believe we did a pretty good job of flying today.
Henry
And,
Williamson,
Good to have you on, brother.
you got to come back and do
Glad
it
to
again
do
with
it.
us.
Yep, sure will. Sure will.
See you later, bro.
All right, brother Steve Watson, throw it out there quick.
Well, it's been a real good one. I've enjoyed this, and I'm sure we'll get more into this down the road and some other programs. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful time. God bless y'all.
Steve, you got something
Yeah,
for me?
we thank our listeners for joining us in today and joining with us today. Hope they've enjoyed the program. Hope they're going to get on some of the links that we talked about
Eternal Rhythm Flow.
and get
Scott
some
Clark.
information
Yeah, you
because
gotta
you
get
need
that
it,
one
more
done.
information. All right, brother.
It's going to be great.
We'll see y'all next week.
Well, thank you so very much, listening audience, for tuning in today to Project SEER. Just stay ready. Do your own research. Check it out. Planet X, Nibiru, the Red Dragon. I'm excited. This is great times to be in. Yes. Don't let this come on you unawares. God bless you as you continue to serve the Lord. I've been your host, Henry Schaefer. Here we go. Thank you for tuning in today. We've been your hosts, Henry Schaefer and Steve Hall. The end times are here. Anything is possible. Are you ready? Don't miss the next episode of Special Edition, End Time Revelation.